So we actually managed to finish up the Ezyloader. We'd kind of rushed through the rest of the build, and my apologies for that. I'll go over what we did. But we have actually been using it to move bees and et cetera, and it's working great. But where we left off is attaching the Ezyloader to the deck of the trucks to make sure that it is as solid as possible. What we did is we added some stays. We added a couple grade 8 bolts, and so I'm just going to quickly show you those so we can move on, and with a couple of hiccups or things that you could change if you wanted to. But what we did is I welded on the stays. Let me get the light in the right spot here so we can see. These 2 stays are welded on, one on either side to the clamp, and then to the back of to that cross member there. So there's one on either side here. Yep. And if you wanted to, these could actually be bolted on. I mean, we could bolt them through here using a drop down, and from there being bolted back to the frame. And if this was a mid mount, or if we had the space, we would have actually done that here. We would have come from the bolts down and then back to the tongue of the trailer here as well. We can't do that, or I can't do that on this one because the spare tire mount is in the way. So I would have to the spare tire, I would have to find a completely different mounting position for it, or want to keep it in the back of my truck all the time, which I don't want to. And as we've already shown by the use, it doesn't require it, so we wouldn't do that. But that is an option. You can use bolts and creating an L bracket again that runs down to that angle iron and then across to your cross members underneath here. So that would be one way to do it. We also, you remember when we first mounted it, we put these bolts through the deck here. Those bolts, I had originally hoped to run 2-inch angle underneath across the cross members this way, and then put the bolt through there, and it would be pinched in, and it would be using the steel of the cross members for support. But we can't do that because of the tongue of the trailer is basically running right underneath the bolts, so we couldn't do that. So we did cut. Oh, there's a bee. Look at that. Hello, little lady. You don't look all that good. Yeah. We should get you some honey or something. I'll be right back. Just take a break right there. Oops. Oh, off you go. Off you go. Oop, oop. Sorry. There. Okay. Hang on. All right. So what we ended up doing is we ended up running the bolts or the 2-inch angle along the planks underneath, and then we just pinched about 3 or 4 boards underneath there to make sure we could get as a good support as we can in the center. But the main support actually comes from these grade 8 bolts. There's 2 on this side, 2 on the other. We did have to drill holes through this angle iron, this 3x2, and this hole here I had to notch out a bit to make sure that I could get the bolts in there. The way with the tube frame and the way the Ezyloader is mounted, we couldn't get a bolt close enough to the edge to go directly through the tube frame. So we ended up putting an angle iron on the inside, and I'll show you that quick. Give me a sec. Let me get the lights back underneath here and aim the camera right there. It is. So that is bolted through the deck. It is also bolted and welded onto the tube frame here. And this tube frame, we had to put where these bolts go through, we needed to put a compression pipe in there. So there's a piece of pipe that goes across in between the tubes. So make sure that when we bolt this on, we don't actually end up crushing the tube frame. So this one was easy. I could slide it in from the front, so no cutting there. This one we actually had to bore out a 3/4 inch hole and then slide the pipe in and weld it from the inside so that pipe is part of the frame now. But then that also helps with the compression. We didn't end up squishing the tube frame, which is kind of important. Don't want to do that. That kind of wrecks stuff. And then we bolted through from the top, right through the planks, through that angle iron with grade 8 bolts. So again, those are 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch bolts. So that is what we did. There's 2 more on the other side inside the electric cabinet. And that is what is keeping this Ezyloader quite firmly attached, it turns out. So again, stays, you have some options there. Bolts, you really don't. You need to put those in and find a way to get them attached firmly to the frame so that you make sure that you have solid contact points at the ends. Pardon me. Ugh. Again, we put this angle iron in there just to make sure that it stayed level on the deck because of that. I think you probably remember that. Yeah, so that's about it. hopefully that's useful information for you when you're mounting your Ezyloader or when you get it. And that would be great. Give me a call if you want one. And yeah, so we'll move on. Thanks for watching. Bye.